You'd all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you remain standing as we pray? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time that we have together, and we just pray for your guidance in all the decisions that we face, that everything that we do will have your guidance and will be in the best interest of our community, our students, and our staff. And we just thank you for the opportunity to serve in this way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Meeting's called to order at 7:40. Students in the room.
Sure. Elementary. Oh, you want to go first?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I got elementaries.
Oh, you're okay. I wasn't sure who she was sending, so thank you.
Hey, no problem. All right. I don't know if these guys are here. Kaylee Cox. Hey, Kaylee, come on up here. I don't know you, but I get to know you. It looks like you're coming from softball. Yeah. So, all right. Kaylee, it looks like you're in 3rd grade, yeah? All right, all right. This is what the teachers wrote about you. The related arts teachers together have nominated Kaylee Cox as this month's Student of the Month. The related arts teachers have been continually impressed with the way Kaylee shows patience and respect for both peers and adults. Kaylee is a kind human who always has a smile to share. Her good attitude and her desire to always give 100% to everything she does is an example for all students at Eastern Green. Congratulations, Kaylee. Okay, Tristan Hall. All right. I think I know Tristan's brother. Yeah, sure enough. All right. I've met you a time or two. Yeah. Can you just ask me how I'm doing so I can hear your accent? I love you and your brother's accent. I do. Okay, Tristan, looks like 4th grade, so I'll have you next year. The related arts teachers together have nominated Tristan Hall as this month's Student of the Month. Tristan not only follows directions with ease, but he always does so while putting forth a good attitude. Tristan is a bringer of peace and a calm in any storm that is appreciated by his peers and adults alike. Congratulations, Tristan. Good job. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with the middle school. And Will Inman could not make it tonight with baseball activities, and I get that because that's his thing for sure. So what it says right here, Will is quiet, but hardworking habits shine always. Will wants to do well, and his grades show this. Will does extracurricular activities outside of the classroom and still gets straight A's. This is the definition of a hardworking student. I cannot wait to see what Will's future holds. Whatever he chooses to do, he will be great at it. Thank you, Will, for being amazing. Your 8th grade teachers will miss you next year, and I will too. Will's one of the students that gets off the bus in the morning, and he greets me every morning, and he's done that for 4 years, so I'll definitely miss that. So congratulations to Will and meeting. All right, Cora. I told her she got to come up here. Hang in there, it's almost over. All right, this is a good thing, Cora. It says, although Cora is very quiet, her motivation in school is off the charts. She is a great kid and a straight A student. Often the quiet kiddos get overlooked, but her teachers are so proud of her. She is in the honors classes, and we are sure she will do great things in high school. Thank you, Cora, for being you and for being a great person. Congratulations, Cora. And I'll give Will his tomorrow. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, Mr. Kirkendall.
Good evening. The first student I'd like to recognize, Octavia. Good evening. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Octavia has always been a good student academically, but has stepped up in a huge way the past couple months, leading a coalition of clubs to improve student and campus morale, and also bring forward an awareness for mental health issues. She's a member of BC2M. You're actually an officer, correct?
Yes.
Yep, so officer of BC2M. So she's always looking for a way to help improve the school and is very methodical in her approach to tasks. She's a natural leader with a heart for service, and I'm incredibly proud of her and how she represents Eastern Green. She's been a frequent visitor to my office for good reasons.
Make it seem bad.
Yeah, I know. So, but always coming up with ideas on how we can improve the school, how we can get the students engaged, and when I say that she has a heart for leadership and a heart for service, it really shines through. So I want to say congratulations and keep up the good work. All right, BJ. When we started doing Student of the Month, I knew that BJ was going to be one of them right off the bat. BJ's an amazing young man. He was actually one of the very first students that I met here at Eastern Green. The wonderful thing about BJ is he has this cheerful disposition no matter what. Every day he comes into the office, says good morning to Miss Melissa, good morning to myself, and we always, whenever we see each other, we always have some type of conversation. So I always look forward to talking to him. And he is an active member of the JAG and is a natural on the school's podcasts. I don't know if you have ever heard these podcasts, but he does a remarkable job of interviewing, and I can totally see you having a career in that someday. Obviously, BJ has many challenges that other students do not have, but he doesn't let that get him down. And he's just one more example of how our students here at Eastern Green are resilient and always look for opportunities to improve and to be successful. And so I'm very proud of him. He's a senior this year, and I'm going to be very, very sad to see you go. I've really enjoyed having you, and so congratulations, sir.
I just want to thank all the parents for sharing your students with us. It's a blessing that we could have all 6 students here. We can actually come together for a board meeting and recognize everybody in person. So thank you very much. At this time, if you do wish to leave, feel free. You're not going to offend us by leaving. I know you guys have activities and stuff you want to do, so please feel free if you want to leave at this time. You may. Thank you very much for coming once again.
Thank you. You always chase away our audience.
Sorry. We get to do next one.
How are you guys?
I don't know, is Mr. Labus here?
No, he's not.
Okay, well, we'll just, we do have he told me he was gonna try to make it, he wasn't sure, and I completely get that, but Mr. Labus is retiring, and so we do have his gift here, and we will get that to him. Matter of fact, I might give it to you, Mr. Kirkendall, and
Okay.
I can come over and we can maybe present it to him at some point, but I want to congratulate him on his retirement. He has done a miraculous job for Eastern. I know Mr. Kirkendall wanted to hold on to him as long as we could, and actually wanted him to teach full time.
Okay.
But he's very successful in other things and can only teach part time, and he's going to retire, and we just wish him the best in his retirement. So I want to make sure we recognize him.
Yeah.
Yep, Karen.
Okay, so I feel like this is my home. It's still my home, I'm sorry. But yeah, this will always, the Eastern Branch will always be my home. It's been a different year for me in many ways, but I wanted to say I really want the Eastern Branch to continue to grow and to thrive and to make new challenges in the world. And if you have any problems or you need anything or want anything, I am more than welcome to hear you and out. The board members all have our little brochure. It tells us a little bit about what we do. Basically, if you haven't been to the library lately, we do a lot of new things. We have books, of course. We have DVDs, of course. But we're also starting to get into other venues and different aspects, ebooks, audiobooks, online reading, whatever. A lot of different ideas that way. I'm happy to say that Eastern Summer, I think the preschool reached out to me last week, the end of last week, asking if we could come down and do programs with them during the summer. I am working on figuring all that out, who can do it and when we can do it. And I'll be sure to get in contact with them and set up times. Our summer program, we will be having a summer reading program. It will be a little bit different this year. We're still going virtual due to COVID. But we are having some discovery tables and sock monkey that you have to find this summer. It will be hidden throughout the library, I'm sure. We will be having crafts that you can come and take, make and take crafts or come in and do. Of course, we'll be having our regular reading program where the kids come in, read for a certain amount of time, they'll get a prize, and we'll continue doing that. Something else that's coming up is golf for the library. I can't figure out how to bring it over here because I don't have a big truck, but it's at the main ranch on June the 5th, Saturday from 10 to 4. We would like people to sign up for tea times this year, just to keep everybody sort of spaced out. If you haven't ever done it before, it is a blast. You can't picture holes throughout the library and you use your little putt-putt and go all over the library. It's a great way to just get out. I'm hoping no rain, but it tends to either snow or rain. Luckily this year it's in June. We won't have to worry about that because most of the time it's in February. I don't have much else to say, but I did want to introduce you to me if you haven't met me before. Most of you have come to the library and know me in the past. Once again, I want the teachers to feel free to call me or call Judy. And if they need a book, want something to happen at their classroom, we will try to make it happen as best we can. With that being said, thank you very much for letting me come and sing and talking.
Thank you very much, Carrie.
Participation at school board meetings. The board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express concerns regarding agenda items. Comments will be limited to board meeting agenda items with a time limit of 3 to 5 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to make public comment? Okay. Adoption of the agenda. It is recommended that the agenda for the May 10th, 2021 meeting be approved with as presented with additions, corrections, or deletions as recommended by the board. But before we make any motions, we had a group of individuals speak last month regarding soccer. And we asked those folks when they would like to know something about soccer. We ran out of time in executive session to talk about it. And so It's not a personnel issue. It's not a contractual issue. So we can talk about it in an open meeting if we want. But I want to make the motion to add an agenda item to the late items at the very end. And if it gets seconded, it will get voted on. I would like to make a motion to add a middle school soccer club to the ECA, contract. What's scheduled to be determined by the administration and the bargaining unit. Does that sound sufficient? So I'd like to make the motion to establish a middle school soccer club. The reason I'd like it to be my personal reasoning for making it a soccer club rather than just a community soccer league is because it allows the soccer club to then form a booster club here at the school, and because we would not be providing any funding for them for equipment, it would give them a little bit more, a better ability to raise funds here at the school for their club. So that's my reasoning to make a motion for a club, not just approving them to have a community league soccer team.
Second.
Okay. So we can put that at the end of the late items and then vote on it then. So that would be item number 5-10-4154-9. Motion to create ECA position for middle school soccer club. Can I have?
Could you also add to that, since you're doing this, they will need to create an ECA fund?
Yes.
Add a fund added to
Motion to create, motion to create ECA position and fund for middle school soccer club. And so, motion by Matt Roberts, seconded by Mike Adams. And to be voted on by the whole board at the end. Okay, now with that, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Scott Carmichael. Second. Sharon Epps. All those in favor? Pass 6-0. It's recommended that the minutes from the April 12th, 2021 meetings be approved as presented. Do I have a motion for that or any questions? Motion? Martin Jose. Second, Scott Carmichael. All those in favor? Passed 6-0. It's recommended that the claim numbers 13472 through
13568.
be approved as presented. I have a motion, or any questions or discussion? I have a motion. Sharon Epps. A second. Ron Childress. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Corporation items here. I'm recommending that we approve the Go Solutions Service Agreement as presented. That's the company we use that helps us do our Medicaid billing. We can bill Medicaid for special education services, and that's the company we use.
Any questions? Have a motion? Ron Childress. Second. Sharon Epps. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Thank you. Next, I'm making a recommendation to approve the Bright Wheel Premium Partnership Agreement for ELC as presented. Kelly Padgett brought this to me. It's a pretty neat little program. One of the biggest things it's going to allow us to do is parents can pay for ELC now, virtually online. They don't have to bring in checks to the central office and that sort of thing. So I think a lot of parents will probably take advantage of that. I think it even gives Kelly the opportunity to do some check-in, check-out of students and things like that. So just another way for us to use technology to our benefit, helps parents, helps the school corporation. So it's like $1,320. So I think it's well worth it to try it out. It's just a 1-year agreement. So I'm recommending we try it.
Any questions? Have a motion? Mike Adams. Second. Ron Childress. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Thank you. Next up is a recommendation to approve the contract renewal with Voice Systems for the ECA and Corporation Computrol accounting software as presented. So that's our lovely accounting.
You really need this, Marilyn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we want people paid and bills paid, we have to do this. So yeah, it's our yearly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do I have a motion? Martha Monizet. Second. Scott Carmichael. All those in favor? Martha, are you? Martha, you're in favor?
Yes. Sorry, I'd raised it before. I thought you already did that.
Next up is a recommendation to approve the Matt Roberts and Roberts Construction to build a dry storage area in the high school cafeteria. I want to give a little background on this. We have been planning to have a storage area built in the back section of the high school cafeteria for, it's been a little while now. I mean, it's every bit of 6 months to a year we've kind of been planning it. The high school cafeteria just doesn't have enough storage, especially for their dry goods. So we reached out to a total of 3 different, I think that's right, 3 different people to try to get this done. Only, besides Matt, only one other gentleman came and looked at the project. He ended up turning it down, said he didn't want to do it. Another contractor we called did not return a phone call. Matt was the only one that actually submitted a bid. It's a very good bid. It's just over $3,500. But since Matt is a board member, we have to publicly make sure we're transparent and make sure everybody understands that he is a board member. He is going to do this for us. And he's already signed his conflict of interest form. It states that it's a possibility he could do some work for the corporation if he submitted a bid and we thought it was a good bid. So we're just doing our due diligence and being transparent, and so I'm recommending his company to build that storage area for us.
Okay, do I have a motion for that? Sharon Epps. Second. Ron Childress. Any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Passed 5-0. I abstain 1.
Thank you. And the cafeteria staff thanks you greatly because they're going to enjoy not hauling dry goods down to the underneath the bleachers. Next up, I want to make a recommendation to approve the contract with Greene County General Hospital for athletic trainer services as presented. This was our first year with Greene County Hospital, and everything I've heard seems to be going very well. I think we like the trainer that we have. The cost is acceptable, and I think we're getting good services, so I'm recommending that we continue that partnership.
Do I have a motion for that? Mike Adams. Second. Ron Childress. Any questions? All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Next up is a recommendation to adopt the Event Link EFT resolution to pay athletic officials directly. This is something that Aaron Buskirk brought to my attention, that there's a much better, more efficient way to pay officials out there than by paper check. Because if you have an event canceled, a referee or an umpire all of a sudden cancels on you, you can't do that event, and you already have that paper check printed, which they often do because they have to get it ready ahead of time. We're voiding checks like crazy. This allows us to do a direct electronic payment to those officials, like a direct deposit type thing. And that way, if they don't show up, they cancel, we have an event canceled, you just don't hit the button to pay them. You pay them later when they actually do the event. So, but State Board of Accounts, to do that, you have to adopt the resolution that we provided for you. So that's my recommendation, that we take on that event link payment.
Do you have a motion? Scott Carmichael. A second. Dr. Marmazet. Questions? All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Next up is a recommendation to approve the request for an overnight stay for the girls basketball team the night of June 25th, 2021 in Leon, Indiana. They're going to take part in a basketball camp there. So I've been looking into situations of sports taking place and overnight stays and things, and people are seeming to get closer back to normal with this. So I asked a lot of the other county superintendents, what are you guys doing for summer basketball camps, especially overnights, and they're all allowing it also. So I think I feel comfortable doing the same. So that's my recommendation.
Do you have a motion for that? Mike Adams. Second. Ron Childress. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Thank you. Have some donations here. Recommending we accept the following donations made to EGHS Athletics. We have the football boosters, $3,000 for football uniforms. Football boosters, $129.99 for athletics and athletics weight bar. Girls basketball boosters, $130 for athletics weight bar. Boys basketball boosters, $100 for an athletics weight bar. Team and Tire Switch City, $600 for baseball uniforms. Team and Tire Owensburg, $600 for baseball uniforms. And Campus Box Media LLC, $538 for via Stanford Heating and Cooling and Jordan and Vaught Insurance for the ECA High School baseball.
Do I have a motion for those donations? Martha Marmazet, second by Ron Childress. Thank you for all the donations, all the folks that donated. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Personnel reports. There's a decent amount on here. First, with resignations, recommending to approve the resignation of Daniel Pate as middle school teaching assistant, effective April 30th, 2021. Recommending to approve the resignation of Joseph Mercurio as full-time custodian, effective April 30th, 2021. Recommending to approve the resignation of Brittany Coots Hill from ELC as an instructional assistant, effective May 21st, 2021. I want to thank all of them for their wonderful service to the school corporation. Recommending to approve the uncompensated sabbatical leave. In the master contract, it's actually called extended leave, but it's often called sabbatical, for Sarah Daughtry, third grade teacher, for the 2021-2022 school year. Recommendations, recommending to hire Miss Courtney McFadden as our speech language pathologist assistant beginning with the 2021-2022 school year. We're very excited to have her coming on. She has quite a few years of experience as an SLPA in a couple different school corporations. We are down to only needing a physical therapist position for just 1 day a week, but we have a lead on someone that might want to contract for 1 day a week. So we're excited that we've almost have our special ed staff completely rounded out. So kudos to everybody who's helped out with that, because it's been it's actually been pretty smooth. I'm very happy, but it's been a chore trying to get it all done. So I just thank the teamwork that made that happen. Motion recommending to approve Nathan Martindale for girls golf head coach. Recommending to approve Devin Melsheimer for girls basketball JV coach. Recommending to approve Grace Branson for girls basketball varsity assistant coach, half the stipend. Recommending to approve Matt Seifers. Did I pronounce that right? Seifers? Anybody know that?
Yep.
Which one?
Seifers.
Seifers, thank you. Try to get people's names right. For girls basketball varsity assistant coach, half stipend. Recommending to approve Tyler, how do you pronounce that? Bruff, thank you. For boys basketball JV coach. Recommending to approve Logan Bailey for boys basketball varsity assistant coach. Recommending to approve Jacob Carmichael as boys basketball C team / freshman coach. Recommending to transfer Kim Hill from the position of Title I coordinator to a first grade teaching position beginning with the 2021-2022 school year. Recommending to transfer Rebecca Lloyd from instructional assistant to Kids Zone facilitator beginning the 21-22 school year. Recommending to increase the salary of David Fields, director of maintenance, to $55,000 a year. Recommending to increase the salary of Josh Schlosser, assistant director of maintenance, to $43,000 a year. Those two I want to talk about just really quickly. As we were trying to hire both of those positions, we're actually trying to hire both of those at the same time, it became very noticeable very quickly that it is very hard to hire skilled maintenance workers to work at a school and be able to pay them what we can pay them within our budget, because you can go into private industry, you can work at IU or some of the factories around and make a lot more money. Well, that's kind of a given. But we still have to be as competitive as possible, not only to hire them, but to keep them also. So even though both of these gentlemen are rather new to us, I'm not looking at this so much as, oh, they've only been with us, 6 months, we're giving them a raise. I'm looking at it as it's more of a raising the amount of the position to stay competitive and retain our skilled maintenance workers. So that's kind of my description behind what we're doing there. I just want to try to be as transparent as possible with everybody. So that's our personnel report.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve Mike Adams? Second, Sharon Apps. Any questions? All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Okay, thank you for that. Late items, have a few of those. First up, we have a recommendation to approve the resignation of Irene Birch as sponsor of the middle school STEM / science club. She's moving to the high school to teach. And then Alex Clary, who was hired to take that position, will be the new sponsor beginning with the new school year 21-22.
Okay, do I have a motion? Martha Marmazet, seconded by Ron Childress. Questions? All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Next up, recommendation to approve the transfer of Kelly Provo to the high school fax position on an emergency license beginning with the new school year 21-22. To be transparent there too, obviously I want to discuss that a little bit. That is my wife. Mr. Kirkendall, I'm going to ask you to say a little bit too about some of the conversations and kind of how the interview process went for that. But when this position came open and my wife very obviously talked to me first and let me know that that's something that she thinks she'd be interested in, I told her right away, I said, okay, that's great. You're going to go through the same process everybody else goes through. I'm going to talk to Mr. Kirkendall, and he's going to know that we are hiring the best person for that position no matter what. If that's you, that's fine. If it's not you, that's fine. But we're going to hire the best person available. So I had a conversation with Mr. Kirkendall once she officially applied for it. I told him that very thing. We agreed that's what we were going to do, and really from then on, I had very little to do with the entire process. I'll let him do his hiring as I normally do. And if you want to talk just a second about kind of what you did for the interview process there and kind of how it came about and what ended up happening, I guess I just want to be transparent.
Yes, we had 3 candidates who ended up applying for the position, none of which had a FACS certification. One of the things that I have learned is out of pretty much any of my teaching positions, the family and consumer sciences position is going to be probably one of the most difficult, because in order to get the certification, you have to have 1,500 hours of service outside of education. And so that has limited the pool significantly. And so we had a panel of three people, myself being included as one of those, and we ranked the candidates accordingly, and this is what we've come up with. So.
Okay, so I just want everybody to understand that I just wanted to be absolutely transparent, because I didn't want there to be any question about what we were doing, and I'm a true believer in there's right, there was wrong, and there's not much gray area in between, and that's how I try to live my life. So just want to make sure everybody understood that that's kind of how the process took place. So there's that recommendation.
Okay, do I have a motion? Scott Carmichael, a second. Sharon Epps. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Thank you. There is a recommendation to approve Tracy Seidel as middle school teaching assistant beginning with the 21-22 school year.
I have a motion. Scott Carmichael. A second. Martha Marmazet. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Thank you. We have some ECA football coaching recommendations. Recommending to approve the following football coaches: Jason Beeler, assistant coach, full stipend; Ben Dukes, assistant coach, full stipend; David Zorman, assistant coach, 2/3 of 2 stipends; Wes Arthur, assistant coach, 2/3 of 2 stipends; and Heath Snyder, assistant coach, 2/3 of 2 stipends. Josh Dodds as volunteer assistant coach.
Okay, do I have a motion? Mike Adams. Second. Ron Childress. I do have a question. Have these folks had their background check yet? All of them? I think some of them are returning.
One does not have that check yet.
Okay.
Heath Snyder does not have that check finished yet. So we're pending a background check.
Okay. So is it possible to motion to approve the following football coaches pending necessary background checks?
Yes, you can do that.
Pending necessary background checks. Okay, all those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Thank you. Summer marching band, recommending to approve the following summer marching band staff, and then you'll see the stipends they get beside there. If it says corporations paying, ECA, that comes out of the ECA fund, and that's the way it's been done for a while now, is that we kind of split that up to help with the band fund. We have Delaney Rubel, head percussion instructor; Macy Bowles, color guard instructor; Sarah King, color guard design writer; Casey Mitchell, woodwind instructor; and Jeff Parker as brass instructor.
So can we add this? I don't know if those folks have had either. Are they required to have,
They would, because if they're working with students, they'd have to have it, so.
so pending any necessary background checks for those
Yes.
folks?
Yes.
We have a motion. Scott Carmichael. A second. Martha Monze. Any questions? All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Thank you. This next one, I'll explain a little bit here. It's a recommendation to approve, in retrospect, the payment of $200 per board meeting attendance to Dr. Carrie Milner in addition to her regular contract payment. So that payment has already taken place. It took place back when she was interim superintendent. However, you go through, the State Board of Accounts comes in and audits you every so often. One of the things they looked at this time is that she was receiving a $200 payment per board meeting she came to. They couldn't find any agreement per se. There was nothing in her interim contract or anything in the board minutes that stipulated she was going to get that. So the State Board of Accounts suggested as their solution that we just, as a board, do a retrospective item here that approves that $200 per board meeting payment to her, and they would consider it kind of over and done with. So that's the recommendation.
Okay, do I have a motion? Scott Carmichael, a second. Sharon Hatz. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Next up is a recommendation to approve an increase to cafeteria adult meal prices for 21-22. Breakfast is recommended at $2.30, an increase of 10 cents. Lunch will be $3.85, an increase of 25 cents. That's the state recommendation that has been put out, so that's what we're recommending. Of course, next year, they've already approved that student meals are going to be free again, which is very nice. So it's just an increase in adult prices.
Okay, do I have a motion? Martha Monze, a second. Sharon Hatz. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Next up is a recommendation to approve removal and destruction of the attached list of surplus items. Board members, you had that. It's really a bunch of very old and obsolete and sometimes even already broken furniture and desks and things like that that really have been in storage for a while and aren't being used, and we need the room. So we're going to surplus those items with your approval.
Do you have a motion? Sharon Hatz. Second. Scott Carmichael. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
And the last one we have here is the one that was added, which is the soccer club. So if I read it right, we have a motion to approve ECA position and fund for a middle school soccer club.
So we have a motion. It was made by me. The second was made by Mike Adams. Is there any question or discussion about that? Okay. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
That's it.
Yep. Yep. Principal check. Oh, top.
Yep.
Principal report.
Yeah, so Patrick, do you have anything to report?
He said 7 days though. I screwed up. That's me. That's a little embarrassing. Just had a few thank yous. This will be really quick. Thank you to the parents and guardians that donated for our school cookout schedule for May 18th. We're going to have a good time. We're going to send these students off with a big barbecue. They're going to be stuffed. Thank you to Debbie one last time for all she has done this school year. She's still at it. Thank you to Beth Deckard for calling subs for both of our buildings this year. Thank you to Megan, Treva, and the Cafe Ladies for all of their hard work this year. Thank you to transportation, maintenance, and the custodial staff for their hard work this year. Thank you to our office staff at the middle school for staying steady, being flexible, and all of their hard work this year. Sandy, Tessa, Amy Decker, Amanda, and Amy Rogers. They're awesome. I have a great office staff. Thank you to the faculty and staff at the middle school. The kids needed them more than ever this year, and they stepped up to the plate and hit a home run, and I just greatly appreciate them. I just keep saying, what a year. And lastly, just thank you to all of you, to everybody, school community for giving me the opportunity to work at the great school. And thank you to the parents and guardians for trusting us with your children in such a trying year. And I guess this is our last meeting before the kids leave next week, so everybody have a great summer. Thanks.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Kirkendall, if you have anything.
First off, I'd like to, it'd be my pleasure to invite the board to the culmination of what we do, and that's graduation on May 22nd. The ceremony starts at, I believe, 11 a.m. I would recommend getting there just a little bit earlier, just so you can find parking, because it's going to fill up pretty quick. With Greene County returning to yellow advisory color for COVID-19, we are limiting capacity to 50% for graduation. Fortunately, we have a large capacity gym that provides us the ability to provide 16 tickets to each graduate. So I believe that they're going to be able to have a full host behind them to celebrate their accomplishments. We continue to ask that everyone wears masks at our events and encourage social distancing when possible. We're going to continue to follow the local government guidelines to ensure the best possible care for our students and community when they're in our facilities. I would also like to thank all of our AP teachers. We are almost done with AP testing, and if you've ever been at the high school during AP week, you see just absolute sheer panic on some students' faces. Sometimes they walk out of those tests crying, just because it's such a release of stress. And so I want to thank Miss Willie for AP test proctoring, and all of the AP teachers who have put in time doing study sessions and help with these students. And then last but not least, I want to thank the students for all their hard work. We're looking at probably, I'd say, hundreds of hours of studying for these exams. And the good thing about these exams is that students can actually walk out of high school with a decent amount of college credit if they do well. So really want to just show my appreciation for all their hard work as well. I would also like to recognize a few people. Cassie Lehman for the THS induction program. She did a fantastic job on making sure that we have a new honor, Thunderbird Honor Society inductees for this year. Also, Miss Gail Finn and all the chaperones for prom. I have to say, very fortunate that we were able to have prom and the kids had fun and really enjoyed themselves. I wanted to also thank Marianne Inman. She was pretty much the heart behind all the awards programs that we did. She pretty much set up the entire thing, and gained all the information on the scholarships and all the awards and really set it up. And she took a huge load off of the rest of the administration. So I really want to thank her as well. And last but not least, we've had Teacher Appreciation Week last week. The community was very gracious, and we received a lot of food, which I'm not going to complain about. I had my fair share. There was tons of cake and goodies and stuff.
Right for us for the food.
I think there's still some left, so come on over to high school. So I really want to thank everybody for just showing their appreciation to our teachers. It was truly noticed. Last but not least, I do want to recognize some people that are either retiring or leaving the district. Obviously, I was not here last month, but I wanted to certainly recognize Joe Mercurio, who was a daytime custodian for over 20 years. And he's going to be sorely missed because he was on the spot whenever the teachers need him. And so really going to miss him. He did a world of good for us. Candice Templeton is a teacher's aide who has decided to retire. She's been with the district for 9 years, and she actually drives from over in the Linton area every day. She is fantastic in our special education room, and she does a fantastic job, and we're really going to miss her as well. Reported earlier this year, Perry Bernstein, who has been our band director for 4 years. I gushed over her last time. Really going to miss her. She's a fantastic young teacher, and I'm sad to see her go. She's going to go back to New York and go back to grad school, so I wish her all the best. Gail Finn, who is kind of pseudo-retiring. She took a limited service contract for next year. She's been with the district for 21 years. Really going to miss her. I appreciate all of her service as well. And then last but not least, Mr. Bob Labus. Mr. Provo is 100% correct. When I heard that he was going to retire after 14 years of service, I asked him, I was like, "Are you sure?" Because he's a part-time science teacher, and he has a construction business that is doing very well. And I tried to coax him into going full-time, and he's like, "No, I just have a good time." You know, he loves teaching. He loves students, and we're really going to miss him. I think everyone in the building's going to miss him quite a bit. So just want to recognize all the wonderful people that make this district great. So thank you.
Thank you very much. The only thing I want to say is, first of all, second everything that the principal said. They thanked a lot of people, but I just want to thank every single staff member at Eastern Green that made this year a success. It might not have felt like a success at times, but trust me, it was a success because our staff went above and beyond to make sure, no matter whether we were hybrid or fully virtual, weather days, you name it, we were educating kids. It may not have been perfect, but we did what we could do with what we had, and I think we got the job done, and we're going to look back on this at some point and say, you know what, all you can do is your best, and that's what I felt we did. So thank every single staff member we have, and when I say staff members, I mean everybody, custodians, TAs, lunch, you name it. It took the whole corporation to pull this off. So thank you very much to everybody who helped make this year a success.
Any comments from board? Sharon?
I'd like to just say the same thing. Thank you to the staff and bus drivers, everybody. It's just an amazing year. So thank you.
Martha?
No.
Scott?
Nope.
No? Right. Okay, I think we're good. It is recommended the meeting be adjourned at 8:33. Have a motion? Scott Carmichael, second. Martha Marmozet. All those in favor? Passed 6-0.
Thank you, everybody.